Hey, Kat.
Hey there.
Okay, so hypothetically, you just started a 1 year fractional CMO engagement. Today's day one, right? That's
Correct.
just right in, right? Tell me a little bit about you.
Okay.
What is a fractional CMO, and what do you do in the first 90 days?
Well, I'm Valyi. I'm the CEO of CV Strategic Marketing Solutions, and I've been a fractional for about 9 years. Fractional consultant. Back when I started, it was consultants mostly, and then I transitioned into calling myself a fractional. I help healthcare B2B organizations that have flat, stagnant marketing, create strategies, work better with sales, using my 3D strategic marketing approach to succeed. Okay, so I'm a CMO starting with an organization, and what am I going to do? And according to your scenario, a 1 year engagement.
Mm-hmm.
Well, the first thing I do is focus on clarity, really understanding what their goals are, and then absorbing what they're doing today. Like, what are they doing? How are they doing it? And without critique or starting to make changes, just listen to understand what they're doing and why they're doing what they're doing. Then I really start to kind of put my coaching hat on and start asking a lot of questions, because I think asking questions allows you to understand what's going on in a little different perspective. Then I really get engaged with the CEO to make sure I understand their goals. Because if we're not aligned and I start just kind of working and doing, I might be missing the mark. I really want to know what his focus was, getting customers, keeping customers, and growing them, and trying to getting really aligned with them. And then we begin to start on developing the strategy toward the third month, so this way we can hit the ground running.
All right, that makes sense. Georgina, how about you? So it's a 1 year engagement. Today's day one. Let folks know a little bit about you and who you are, and what do you try to get started in the first 90 days? What do you first tackle?
Yeah, absolutely. So I'm Georgina Miller. I'm a fractional CMO, and my clients tend to sell something that's a bit complicated, or where there's an education phase before there's a buying phase. So things like legal services, financial services, professional services. I even did a stint as a head of marketing at a mobile and online ordering company before COVID, before anybody knew about it. And so that means I spend a lot of time trying to get inside customers' heads and really work out how they think and feel. And so when approaching a 1 year engagement and starting out, everything that Kat said is bang on. So I don't want to repeat anything she's already said. So it's really, as well for me, understanding the full scope of the organization, because you don't want marketing to get stuck in kind of the just in marketing. You've got to understand what's going on with product, with sales, with the customer success team, or however the company is structured. But what is going on there? Because marketing touches the whole of the customer journey. It's often kind of just allocated this front end, let's get customers piece, but actually it touches like that customer acquisition and then customer retention and increasing brand loyalty. So in addition to sort of clarifying the CEO goals, to really getting into that discovery and asking questions and listening, I would also kind of make sure that I understand how the whole of the organization looks.
Okay, so let's flip it around a little bit, Georgina. I'm the CEO of your client company. Okay, how am I gonna? I probably had to fight or get approval to budget to bring in a fractional CMO in the first place, right? And get that sort of 1 year's worth of money put aside. Like, how do I get maximum value out of at least that 1 year of fractional CMO time that I've managed to convince the board to approve?
I think it starts with a clear understanding of what you want from your fractional CMO. And hopefully you do have that because you've managed to get some money and the board understands it. And to really treat that CMO as a partner in the C-suite. That CMO is not there to be segmenting your email lists or writing copy for the website. That is a tactical position, and your CMO, you want them to be a strategic thinker, a high level thinker who's going to come in and help your organization as a whole. So the first step is to treat them as a partner and not an adversary or kind of someone who you can boss around, because that sets up an unhelpful power dynamic from the start. And I would say to have a clear understanding of what you want to achieve at the end of that first year. Is it that you want to put some structure in place? Or you want to know kind of, okay, well, this is the team we need and how we're going to build it? Or is there a particular part of the business that's suffering? But that clarity really will help get you kind of your bang for the buck.
And Kat, if I'm CEO, how do I get maximum value from that fractional CMO engagement? Or if you prefer, how do companies tend to waste the money that they put aside for fractional CMOs?
Well, the important thing is to really think of, if you're bringing a fractional CMO, the CMO is the important part. You're bringing in someone that's strategic and that you want to allow them to ask questions. If you wanted a copy service or a tech, just go out and go to Fiverr and get one. But if you're bringing in a fractional CMO, what you're doing is you're tapping into a level of experience that will help you as the CEO achieve your goals, right? So working with the CMO in a way that you're allowing them to, just like Georgina said, come into the C-suite, be part of developing the strategy, getting clarity on what the end goals are, because that's going to help you then at the end of the year, see if you have, even along the year, see if you're achieving your goals. If it's just, put out promotions, get more leads, that's not how the C-suite actually thinks, right? So we have to get into that and understand what they really want. So this way the CMO can then create the results they need. And the other part is understanding if there is no marketing team, how is the CMO going to build that team? What kind of processes are going to be put in place? How are people going to engage with the marketing department so this way they can be effective and they're not just someone who's taking in information? Everything has to be strategic. Everything has to be for a reason. People will say, oh, I just need a brochure. I just need a thing. But why do you need that? Or is there something else that already exists and so on? So really working with your CMO as a strategic partner will help the CEO be more efficient and meet their goals and achieve their success.
Well, let's switch to the marketing team for a second, right? So you signed on, 1-year engagement. There's a marketing team in place, junior and mid-level folks, right? And how does hiring a fractional CMO improve things inside the marketing team? What's better at the end of the year, for instance?
Well, usually when I go into an organization and they already have a marketing team, I try to position myself initially as the consultant,
Right.
because people tend to feel very defensive when they say, oh, a fractional is coming in, they're going to take over, they're going to get rid of me. I usually position myself initially as a consultant. I'm learning, I'm helping you improve, I'm helping your department become better. I have years of experience. I'm a fractional because I don't want to be here forever. I'm a fractional because I choose to help organizations and then move on. So I kind of give them reassurance and then, share with them the experience and then listen to what they're doing, how they're doing it. So this way it's not about you're doing it wrong, you're doing it wrong. It's like, how can we make it better for you and for the organization so the marketing department can look great and help the CEO achieve what they need to achieve.
Georgina, what do you think? How does marketing improve? How does the marketing group or team or department improve after having sort of, been led by a fractional CMO for a while?
I think one of the things that a CMO should help kind of model is how to work with different departments and not get kind of stuck, because sometimes marketing teams feel a little bit under attack. So they are told to write a brochure. They are told, I need a flyer for this event, and marketing sometimes gets dumped with everything else that other people don't want, but that doesn't necessarily reflect the skill set of the people in the team or how best to use those capabilities. So a fractional CMO should really be able to help shape the team and make sure that each person on it is using their capabilities in the best way that they want to, but also help communicate to the rest of the company what that marketing team is there for. And it should always be a strategic function and not just someone who puts pretty pictures on the flyer.
Not a manager and stuff. Yeah, got it. Okay, so let's go down a level, right? Let's say I'm a junior employee in marketing, right? I'm one of the junior folks, right? And the company's hired a fractional CMO. Like, what do you think I'm going to learn, or what should I aim to learn or get out of the time I have with a fractional CMO for that 1 year?
It is really that kind of strategic level of thinking. You have the opportunity to see what that top level of marketing in an organization looks like. The CMO is a helpful title, I think. In terms of fractional CMO, as Kat said, it used to be like, you get called the marketing consultant, you get called the whatever. The fractional CMO label is helpful because it indicates that seniority and the seriousness with which you should take the person who's coming in. So if you're a junior person and you want to climb that ladder and you want to see what it looks like at that strategic level, this is your opportunity to learn and to see how that person interacts with the C-suite and thinks about marketing as a whole. Because when you are junior, you have a lot going on. Like, there's a lot to do, there's a lot to learn, and that to-do list can seem overwhelming. And it is a big gap between that way of sort of operating business and how a CMO
Someone
operates.
agrees.
I have a fan.
And Kat, so let's turn it around a little bit. I'm junior employee, fractional CMO's coming in, right? Like, what would you tell me? Let's say it's not your client, but someone says, "Hey, Kat, I'm just getting started in marketing. We just hired a fractional CMO. Like, what should I be doing?"
I think it's a great opportunity to learn and either be a background, like let them mentor you, or watch them. How are they interacting with the C-suite? How are they getting done? And one of the things as a CMO, one of the things a CMO will do is always ask why.
Right.
So when you are, as a junior marketing person, developing things, try to understand the why behind it. Why are we creating these things? What is the ultimate goal? And then how does that affect the ultimate buyer's journey? Because what you're creating and what you're developing is ultimately going to help the organization in different levels of the journey. Is it at the beginning when you're trying to help people get an epiphany? What are you creating? How are you understanding that? Why do they even need that? Why does sales want it? So it's really learning how to ask and watch how the CMO interacts with the different departments and the why behind everything. So you're just not making stuff. These things you're developing have a very real effect, and the importance of them becomes elevated when you understand the why.
All right. I'm going to ask each of you a question, but it's opposite ends of the question. So, Georgina, in a second, I'm going to ask, like, what gets a fractional CMO not renewed beyond the first year? And so, Kat, you get what kind of fractional CMO does get renewed?
I think the fractional CMO that really understands and has clarity on why they're there and understands the goals of the CEO and the organization as a whole. So this way you can say, you wanted these outcomes. This is how I helped you achieve those outcomes. You have to be able to do that. And that clarity happens way at the beginning. So you better get that clarity when you come in. So this way, as you're going through the journey, you're able to be successful and you're not guessing, because you can get to the end and say, I did all these things. And they're
Yeah.
like, well, what I really wanted was, and then it's too late. So getting clarity on the front end absolutely helps you become more valuable on the back end.
And Georgina, who doesn't?
So what qualities mean that a CMO doesn't get renewed? And
Like,
I
if a CMO doesn't get renewed at the end of the year, like, what went wrong?
Yeah, there's a couple of different sides to this. I'd say one of them is not being able to demonstrate value, and that kind of has two parts of it. It is
Right.
about providing value and actually being able to communicate that value to the senior team, because everybody has an opinion about marketing in organizations, whether it's the product developer or the CFO. Everybody has an opinion about what marketing should be doing and should be achieving.
Yeah.
So if you can't clearly articulate, to Kat's point about setting goals, what you're trying to achieve, and then achieving it, and then communicating that you have achieved it, then you don't make a compelling case for why they should keep you on. As well as that, in an organization, often it is about relationships within that organization.
Yeah.
So if you end the year and you've alienated any of the following: the marketing team, the rest of the C-suite, the CEO, the board, because you want that long-term relationship. And if you haven't managed to achieve that within that first year of, I bring value to the table and we are a partnership that has longevity, you're not going to get renewed.
So why do people like being fractional CMOs?
Why do we?
Yeah. Why do this? This is there are easier ways to make a living, right?
I mean, there are. I would say I personally like it because I like variety. I like the opportunity to see what's going on in different types of businesses, and kind of that flexibility. It allows you to step back from an organization and stay to a certain extent outside of the politics of that organization. You can have more authority and more buy-in to what you're doing as someone who they're having to pay for, and there's not that you can kind of have that external perspective.
Okay. And Kat, why do people do that? Why do you do this job? Why?
Well, for me, I was in the corporate spaces for about 28 years. So I did the whole corporate thing. And when I had the opportunity to step away, I did a marketing evaluation on myself. I went through the whole process in terms of, what do I want to do? Why do I want to do it? Who do I want to serve? And so on. And when I got to the end of it, I realized that I liked helping companies, especially small to mid-sized companies that maybe don't have access to high-level marketing strategy, to help them grow. And then I can, give them my knowledge, help create great strategies and marketing processes. And then I can leave and then go help someone else. So it's more about being able to help more people, staying outside of the politics. I've done that. It was great. Now, but I really like helping organizations. I stay in the healthcare B2B space because that's an area that I'm just very passionate. I always liked healthcare, but I didn't want to be a doctor or a nurse. I didn't want to get into those bits. But I like the whole process of healthcare, because ultimately, in the end, it comes down to helping the patient, whatever solution, service, technology you're making.
Right.
So I think people who get into fractional maybe have done a lot of the corporate stuff, and now they just want to go in and do what they do best, and then stay away from the politics and just go on and help someone else. So that's why I like it.
All right. Good answers. Good. Okay. So it's time to wrap up. Kat, we'll start with you and then go to Georgina. Who should contact you and how should they contact you?
Well, if you're an organization, a healthcare B2B organization in the technology services solution space, and you are looking to ramp up your marketing, it's been flat, it's not going anywhere. Your message seems kind of like it's milk toast compared to everybody else. You need to reach out to me. I'm at www.cvstrategicmarketing.com, and I can do an evaluation and we can have a discussion so we can see how we can best move forward. So it's usually the executive level in the organization. Reach out to me. Let's have a chat, and I'd love to help you.
All right. And Georgina, who should contact you and how?
Yeah, so I'd love to hear from small and medium-sized businesses where there's a story to be told. So it's maybe not completely straightforward why somebody should buy your services as opposed to somebody else's. And you need a strategic approach to your marketing. Maybe you've been kind of DIYing it up to now, or you have a plan, but it's not really working. Or as Kat said, things are just a bit flat and you want to up level, you want to grow. And that's where I can really come in and give that perspective. So for getting in touch, my website, Crabapple Communications, is www.crabapplecomms.com. And come there, send me an email, and we can talk.
All right. Well, thanks so much, both of you. This has been really great. I love it when people give these offbeat answers. They're fantastic. Okay. That's good TV. That's what that is. That's good TV right there. All right. So thank you, Kat. Thank you, Georgina. And thanks for watching, everyone. And see you in the next episode, which I think if you're watching them in order, which I doubt you are, that would be 54. All right. See ya. Thanks, everyone. Bye.